What's up, guys? Ronin Man here. We're watching a little, I think it's called pronounced Thukcha or something like that. Thukcha. Very cool game when the Thais play with the feet. It's all guys, as you can see. Look at that. He serves with his feet. Check it out. Here's his feet. Now watch this. Look at that! Oh my God, that was a good one. Oh, that was a perfect way to start the video. Oh, kick ass. Oh, that was amazing. Nice. Really good. All right, yeah, so I love this shit, man. There's some guy playing volleyball. You see the guys smile and stuff. You know, men are so friendly. They really are, you know. If you're nice to guys, it's amazing how nice they are to you, you know. But either way, I fucking really respect these guys. I wish when I was a kid, I wish they would have got me to play this game, because you really learn how to use your feet. The guy's foot goes above his head, and he spikes it like a volleyball. You know, it's just amazing. This fucking foot, man. These guys could, I don't see how these guys can't be like awesome soccer players if they would put their mind to it. But either way, today's video is a short video. I got a friend coming in town. He's coming to meet me actually at this park. Just coming in from Australia. And I watched a video today, Paulie Lom's video called When Harry Hit Sally. And wow, that's a fucking powerful video. Oh my God. Dude, this was fucking good. I don't care if you hate MRAs or whatever the fuck you got in your mind, but dude, this was a great video. I'm putting it in the comment box below, but basically what he does in the video, and you can watch it, please do, in fact, it's really great. But he goes relentlessly. He's like like when you're reading a thriller or something, and it just goes step by step. The killer just comes closer and fucking closer and closer, you know, and the victim is just like more vulnerable, closer, and you know what's gonna happen, right? It's just like, you know, on the edge of your feet, right? That's how his video is, in my mind. And so what he does is he describes, which is really great. The video is about violence, right? But actually, I don't think that's the strongest point of the video. And I commented below his video, but actually, I think he talks about basically what the video is about is basically Sally, in this case, is goading him on and kind of like one by one starting to control his life and frustrating the guy. And then the guy gets frustrated, and then he finally hits her, and then she uses that to blackmail him and basically to make him do whatever she wants, because now he's legally under her thumb. You know, his whole life becomes almost slavery to her after that. And this is a really great story. It's really fucking good. I think even any woman could really enjoy that story, because it really is the story of most relationships, you know. It's like waiting for that moment when you make that mistake, and then she gets control. She takes control of the relationship. Before, there's like no control. It's just like a free-flowing fucking, it's almost like a house party or something until then, you know. People are just having a good time. You know, like when you have your friends over for beers or whatever, you know, everybody comes over. You just have a good time. There's no plan. Nobody's in charge, right? That's the kind of what a relationship's like in the beginning. It's not like the guy's in charge. It's just like, hey, let's hang out. Then it ends up being great sex, and everybody's laughing, and you know, good feelings all around. And then slowly she starts to, I'll just quickly give you a recap quickly, is that she's got in her mind things she wants to change about you. But there's a point in the relationship when she starts to change you, try to change you. So it's like, you know, she didn't like, in this case, she didn't like the shirt he wore. And she didn't like the fact that he put tons and tons of sugar in his coffee. And she didn't like the fact that he, what was the other thing? Oh, he threw popcorn in the air and he would catch it in his mouth. And it would get all over his shirt and it would get all over the couch, right? So these are the kind of things that pretty common kind of things that women wouldn't like about a guy, right? So in this situation is, they stick together and she frustrates the shit out of him. He breaks down, he hits her, and then she retreats, but she doesn't leave. She doesn't file charges. What she does is uses it as a power move. Now, if she went to the police and filed charges the first time, I'd actually have much more respect for the woman, because it's like, hey, nobody likes to get hit. You know what I mean? Like it's fair, right? The guy, if she hits you, you know, you have the right to file charges like immediately, right? And I think you should. And I think probably Sally should have. But the reason why Sally didn't is very, very important, because she's going for the long ball. she ain't going for the small thing. She ain't going for the small money. Like maybe he would pay her off to drop charges or something, you know. No, she's going for marriage, right? So she's going for the big money. She's going for his whole life, right? So, and so basically, like, it's pretty dark, you know, after that. He has no say-so in his own life, where he goes, what he wears, what he says, and just continues on. And that's pretty normal for most relationships, right? But what I thought was good about it actually wasn't what Paul talked about. Well, of course, what he said was awesome. Was the way he, you know, presented it, the way he methodically, like step by step, like, you know, serial killer drawing closer, it described how relationships roll out. Was, you know, for me, having had a lot of them, it was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Like, how did he fucking, you know, either way, he just nails it, right? But the thing is that what he didn't get, and I think that what I added in my comment, is that the moment that she started to want to change him is actually when, what I wrote in the comment was, when she stopped loving him, right? It's actually more complex than that. But basically what it is I guess the main message I want to give in this video is, when she changes from the girl who wants it in the ass, wants to have fun, wants to, you know, blow you on top of the mountain and have, you know what I mean, and just camp anywhere. She doesn't care if she's covered in mud. She wants to go to a concert. She wants to skydive and all this stuff in the beginning. You know, she wants to go pick up girls with you or whatever. You know, when that changes and she goes into this other mode, okay, it could be for several reasons. One reason I've seen for many women is physical necessity. So, for example, if the economy turns bad, or if her family goes bankrupt, something like that. You know, I've seen that happen before with wealthy girls, is their family goes bankrupt. Can definitely happen to anybody, and when it does, it changes the way she looks at life, and so she all of a sudden changes significantly, where she's trying to get you to, you know, settle down. Like, you know what I mean, enough of this fucking around. Like, let's make a contract here, you know, and let's settle down here. You know, there's not much more fun left. So when you sense that in a relationship, what Paul missed that, and I think most people watching that video missed that. What they saw was the guy was goaded into, you know, being violent, and then she used that against him, right? Just like he could goad her into doing something, right? You can't make anybody do anything, but you can definitely goad people into it, right? And you can, and a certain percentage of people will go for whatever you're trying to get them to do, right? Whether it's a, you know, road rage fight or whatever. If you start driving your car like a maniac in front of people, certain people are going to want to fight with you, right? And they're going to hit you, right? So let's just put this way: is when it comes to hitting women, I've never hit a woman, and that's partly because I was beaten really badly as a kid. So I don't like to hit anybody, actually, you know, because I just am not into it. I will definitely fight if it's necessary. There's no problem there, because that's like defense, right? If somebody attacks me, or, you know what I mean, I'm jumped or whatever, you know, something like that, there's no problem there. But when it's just like no reason, no meaning, there's just pure like meanness, I just can't relate to that. And so where was I going with that? Somehow I lost my train of thought. But let's go back to that. So she changed, okay? She changed, and so she started to order him around and want him to do certain things. So what you have to do as a guy, I'll just shorten this video up. What you need to do as a guy is enjoy the good parts of women, right? So when there's a lot of ass fucking, KY jelly, videotapes, laughing, chocolate cake, you know, great movies, you know, traveling, you know, when all the good times are there, you stick in there, right? And she's making cakes for you, and you know what I mean, like you're just having a great time. That's when you stick in there. But the moment that she changes, okay, that is when you get out, or you plan your escape. It's not, here's the thing, it's not fucking easy, okay? As a guy, it ain't easy, because what happens is, it's easy for me to say that, and it's actually easy for me to do it because I've been doing it for so long. But for most guys, this is not easy, because what happens is all these good feelings happen, you know, when you're together, and you know, you're having great sex, you're having this, you're having that, all these great feelings, all these great things are happening, and you develop this deep, you know, relationship, this deep feelings for the girl. But what you always need to do is you always have to as a MGTOW, I believe you have to always know it's going to end, and it could end today. Remember I told you when you're standing outside the bathroom, she goes in the bathroom, you know, you have to practice like she's never going to come back, like it's a door to eternity or a black hole or something, she's never going to come back. And that you think, well, what would I do today if she didn't come back? Ever. You know what I mean? She just disappeared. You know, if she disappeared into a black hole, obviously I don't mean if somebody took her and you have to help her. I mean like the unrealistic situation. But let's say that she disappeared forever. What would you do? And you think, well, I would, let's see. Okay, she'd be gone forever, so what would I do? I would, let's see, I would go over to that meeting I was going to go to. I was going to go call my friend I was going to call. I'd go send a message. I'd go finish that article up. I'd go, oh, that's right, I got the phone number from that other girl. I'd go call her. I'd go, oh, there's that part of town I really wanted to go to. Or damn it, I need to call my mom. I haven't called her forever, right? So you come up with these ideas, and then when she comes back, you're almost like disappointed, like the exact opposite, because now you've been practicing for all the things that you could be doing, and you realize, fuck, I could be doing a lot of cool things. Right? I can go to that pool party I should have gone to, you know, instead I'm with her, you know, and you start thinking of all these things, and then she comes back, and then it's all good, and you have a great time. But that exercise alone is very, very good for you, because it puts you into the right mindset. And what that mindset is when the girl changes, and she will change, okay, because girls always change, right? Girls change very quickly, and they'll admit it. If you ask girls, like, you know, how often do girls change their mind? They say they have the right to do it anytime they want, right? And in many, many TV shows and songs and movies about this. And so they're proud of that, you know. They change their mind on a moment's notice. Now, the thing is, what they don't ever say, nobody in fucking society says, is that you are the one that's being destabilized by all this change. So, for example, they can change, and you're supposed to sit around and wait for them to change, and then try to like catch up with them. Like, what's the new thing we're supposed to be doing here, right? That's not the thing. Is what you do is you say, oh my God, things could change. Okay, so it's almost like, you know, like you're buying Bitcoin or something, and the price could drop in half. You have to know that. You have to know that so you can respond appropriately, either buying more or whatever it is that you think is the smart thing to do, right? But you have to have the understanding that you're dealing with a volatile currency, and in this case, you're dealing with a volatile, very, very emotionally volatile person, which is a woman, and is going to change. And the younger she is, the more she is like this. And I tend to prefer younger women, and the younger they are, you know, a 21-year-old woman will change like crazy, you know. She'll change one way, and then the other way, and then right back, right? So what you have to do is you have to be ready for that. Of course, if a girl's quite young, then you need to have an understanding that her changes might not have very much meaning, right? 5 minutes later, she's right back where she was. So you have to let her run her course sometimes, right? But let's say it's not that situation. It's not just some, you know, emotional, what is it called? Tornado. It's not like that. It's not like a typical healthy thing that young girls have. No, it's something different. She has now reevaluated your relationship, okay? And she is now thinking that the time for fun is over, and it's time for some serious shit here, right? And that's what's going on in Polly Lom's story. Is that no longer is it fun and games. Okay, so when I'll tell you this, that is a very, very important thing. When you realize that the relationship has changed, that's when you have to change. Okay, so for example, let's say you really love your job, it's just so fucking fun, right? Like my friend used to translate movies, and then she would interview Brad Pitt and all this kind of stuff. She loved it, right? She freaking loved that job. And it was like the funnest thing for her. It wasn't even work for her, right? But there was a point, and I remember it, when it became work. You know, suddenly it became work. She started getting like 150-page faxes in the middle of the night, and she had to translate all this shit, and ran out of ink and out of paper and all these changes, and she had to fucking, you know, alter everything like overnight, and she had no time to fucking do anything, and she was, you know, she wasn't living the life she wanted to, and she realized that, you know, there's not very much money in translation, because when you're translating stuff like, you know, interviews with famous guys, for example, as a girl, every girl in the world wants to do that for free, so it's not very high paying, right? So she realized all of a sudden that the fun was over for her, you know, with that job. And she did stick with it for a couple of years, but she ended up closing the company because it's not a very high, it really isn't a very high paying profession, but it is very, very high stress because when you get a movie, you only have a short period of time to translate it, usually 3 days, right? So it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of pressure, things change fast, you know, the payment's not that big, you know, and so it was fun for her before and it was worth it, but then something happened where she went into a new phase of her life where she needed money more seriously than before, this girl, and no longer was it just for fun. So when that happened, she should have just quit the profession right away. And it's just because, you know, she did it for fun and now it's work, right? So that's how relationships are, exactly. So it's fun and then all of a sudden it becomes work. So when it becomes work is when you leave, right? That's when you get the fuck out, right? And you'll be called all kinds of names. You're going to be called endless names, right? And they're going to say, oh, you know, you're not responsible, you're not I don't know, you're not mature, you're not this, you're not that. But everybody knows that the reason why you get in relationships is to have a good time, right? You know, it's an enjoyable part of your life, right? You already have work, which is, you know, sometimes not that much fun, and you have like other things, health you know, things go on in life, but certain things you do for fun. Friendship is for fun, right? You know, if a friendship becomes miserable and terrible and your friend fucks you over too many times, you break it up, right? You just say, okay, I'm gonna go my own way on this one, right? Same thing with women. So this is the moment, guys. It's a fucking moment. So what I want you to do now is think back in your life, think back to every relationship that you've ever had, and think back to that fucking moment when it turned to work. And that's when you got to think back to think, what if I would have left at that moment? Well, how would my life have been better? The reason why it's so good is because it can save you from going to prison even. Because obviously payment of child support and all this stuff can happen, but also the guys work out in the park here, which is pretty cool. Some of these guys are killer shape, you know. It's free, you can just come here and lift weights. But you know, you can go to prison for assault in a big fight. You know, even if she hits you more than you hit her, the courts just don't believe guys, and Guy is basically the violent one. He's going to go to prison. So until the courts change, which is probably, I'm guessing, like 100, 200 years, until the courts will start to give guys a break. So basically not in our lifetime. So forget about that, okay? Forget about people caring about you. You have to care about yourself, right? So what do? That moment you realize you're out, and so when you do get out, you save yourself not just the fear of jail and all that stuff, but you also, and this is what's awesome, here's the fucking gold here, here's the, and the end of the video, this is the real gold, is that, this is my theory, and you can just tell me I think it's true, is that every girl you date has dated other people, right? And every single guy she's dated, whenever relationships break up, they always end up in bad situations, right? It's always like a series of fights, kind of like Paul said, and what he was describing is the beginning to the end of a relationship, right? When it becomes miserable, miserable, miserable for both people, her included, right? So when you are super clever and sly, and as soon as you see that she changed, okay, what do? You don't call her out. You don't say, oh, you've changed, or, you know, like, I gotta go because you changed. Don't ever say anything like that. What you do is you basically just find ways to, you know, break it off. And I talked about that in another video, how to break up with chicks. I'm gonna make a full video about this. But essentially what you do is you start to give her less and less time. So if you meet her every day, you meet her every 2 days. If you meet her every 2 days, you meet her every 4 days. If you meet her every 4 days, you meet her every 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, you add on extra days. And then eventually you aren't meeting her enough for her to want to stay with you, and she'll leave you. So, and you act kind of like weaker, you know. You act weak. Worst case scenario. Well, I'm going to talk about this in the breakout video. I've got some very smart breakup things that girls never ever guess that it's you're doing it on purpose. They never guess. Trust me. It's just like no guys have the balls to do this, like to act the way I'm going to talk about, and it works like a fucking charm. They believe it every time, right? So basically you break up. So when you do that, what I was going to say is that you short circuit the fights that you would have had. Okay, so most guys, like I said, most guys and girls have terrible, terrible fights on the way out, and it usually is relentless. It starts one way and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, right? So when you just sense the very beginning, right, where there's not even been a fight yet, she's just starting to tell you what to do all of a sudden, and you realize that she's changed. Like no longer is this happy love, right? This is like all of a sudden she's like demanding things. She wants you to change. She's not gonna put up with it, right? So the happy times are over, just like my friend's job. She realized, for whatever reason, don't blame it on her, but for whatever reason, we all have the right to change, and everybody does, especially women. And when she does, you are like you're like one of those scales that can measure a millionth of a pound, right? You all of a sudden sense this extra weight, like, holy fuck, oh my God, alarm bells go off, right? And you start to realize that, oh my God, this is so sad. This is coming to the end of our relationship. Even though, and this is what I'm saying, this is really important to know, is on the surface, everything's gonna seem almost exactly the same. Sex is still gonna be good, because we're talking about the very beginning, and she's gonna not even in her own mind be thinking about breaking up. She's just thinking, hey, it's time to finally put these things to rest and get this guy on the right track. So he wears the right clothes, he says the right things, and he stops doing this one crazy thing that he does when he's driving, or whatever it is that she's got in her mind she doesn't like, right? Always women have tons of shit that you do that they don't like, and they want to change you. And just as an aside, if you're the type of guy who isn't happy with girls and wants them to change, like you want them to cut their hair or some bullshit, you got to stop that, okay? You got to stop that. To be a cool guy, you really have to. It's very, very, very important that you don't have any requirements. Let the girl be totally who she is, okay? Let her cut her. If she wants to shave her head, fine. You're gonna start having other girls anyway. It's like not really a big deal. It's like, okay, she's going to cut her hair and it won't be as sexy. Well, that won't be as sexy. You know what I mean? I won't like that as much. So I'm gonna have to start to find some more girls, or take that vacation or whatever. I'm gonna go and do some other things, and this one's coming to the end of her rope, right? Because I don't like bald girls, right? So like that. So what you do is you short circuit it. So don't demand. Don't do the opposite of what I'm saying. Don't do what she's doing, right? Don't demand the girl's gonna change. That's asshole, stupid behavior. Some guys do it. It's ridiculous. You guys, you got to be more sophisticated than that. You're like a fucking wolf. You come in when the limping lamb is weak, and you fuck her, and then as soon as like there's danger, trouble ahead, you fucking get the fuck out of there, and you're ready to move. You're ready to rock. I mean, your house is on wheels. Everything's ready to go. And just having the right attitude about leaving instead of fighting, because what I said before is most guys fight. So what she has in her mind, let me finish that thought, is she's got a lot of like bad feelings about her old boyfriends. She's got a lot of bad feelings because they really put her down. A lot of guys on the way out will say a lot of mean things to girls. Oh, you're a cunt, you always were like this. Never, ever do that. Girls are like flowers. You don't want to crush the flower, right? But at the same time, doesn't mean you stay with the flower. There's a lot of fucking flowers in the world, right? You don't need one flower. There's fucking millions of them, right? But at the same time, there's no, it's not good. It's not good karma to go around crushing people, So let her be herself and just disappear. And now, okay, real life is that probably you guys have been in love. It's been like, I don't know how long it is. Let's say it's been 3 months, 6 months, a year. With some girls, it could be miserable in a week. They have such a short pattern of being nice. But whatever it is, there's been a period of time when she's been nice and you've had a great time. And then you're going to have to adjust to the fact that it's over in your mind. And then start to look for new options. Don't say anything to her. Leave her totally guessing. She has no idea what you're thinking. Just kind of like, you're like this silent guy who's just like, oh, you want me to wear that shirt? Oh, okay. Right. Well, I just remembered I got to go to work, whatever. You leave, and then you think, then you have a good think about it. You realize, fuck, she changed. That sucks, Now she's in this other mode with me, right? So then you start to plan your day, plan your thing out. What else can you do? Plan your life, plan your girlfriends, plan whatever it is, and then just go ahead and slowly get out. Now, if she's your only girl, which of course this is the dumbest thing, and I highly don't recommend this. If you're in a like a one girl relationship, you're very weak and limited. That's why guys get violent. They get violent because they are trapped, and a lot of it is their own fault, right? So you have to be a cool guy. You have to be good at meeting girls. You have to be good at being on your own. You have to be good at making money, doing stuff, having a fucking cool life, and then just moving on and just going on with your life, right? But if you're not, that's how you get trapped into this thing. And the thing is of course the girl has no respect for you anymore. She knows you're a loser. Even if you're rich, she knows you're a loser, and you know you're a loser, and it all sucks big time, right? So instead of that, is you just start to spend less time with her, start to think of all the options, just go into full-on attack mode, like fucking LeBron James to the fucking hoop, right? But you're going to the hoop of your life. You're going straight in. You're gonna fucking take it right into the fucking hoop, and you're gonna do whatever it is that you wanted to do to get successful, to do whatever it is that your goals were. Is like no more sitting on your ass, right? And then you're just like heavy duty. And then when she comes back the next week or something, she'll be like, hey, how are you? It's almost like a distant memory, but you're like, oh, hey, take the sex, that's fine. If you don't have a lot of girls, take the sex from the girl. You've got a week now. Now keep going. Keep taking it to the hoop, Your life's gonna get so full, so rich, so many things to do, that the girl's less and less of an important thing in your life, and that you've now totally accepted that she is out of your life, right? Even though she's not. She's totally in your life. But she's out of your life in your mind. And so that emotionally, you're not like hurt by it like before. You prepared yourself totally. And then just, if she starts to tell you what to do, and then just do whatever you want from that point. What I would do is I would say, hey, personally, I would just disappear. That's what I would do, actually. Yeah, that's what I would do. If the girl, okay, there's only one exception. If the girl's like insanely hot, okay? If the girl's like super fucking insanely hot, right? Like if she's got the fucking tightest pussy you've ever seen, it's just a fucking coin slot, right? And it's just like the kind of pussy you just can't ever find. It's so fucking hot. If that's the situation, then I usually am a little bit, I drag it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Honestly, we're being honest here, right? I'm just being honest. Is if the girl's kind of mediocre or whatever, then I'm basically on the way out the door. So most girls are mediocre. Don't kid yourself, right? So I'm on my way out the door. But if she's insanely fucking hot, or she's a movie star, or something like that, she's a model, or not even that, she's just like super, super young and super, super hot, and she's got a huge smile and everything, and she drives you insane, and your dick's like blue steel every time she comes over, then go ahead and drag it out a little bit. But just do the same thing of preparing, getting ready for the ultimate. It's over, and it's over, and you listen to this podcast again and again, and you're like, it is over, because there's no more good times anymore. Now she's demanding this and that, XYZ from me. It's no more fun. It's no more easy. Before it was like this. Just keep reminding yourself of the way it used to be and what it's becoming, right? And that makes it easy. That makes it very, very emotionally easy to change. To leave and to go do something new. And I hate to say this, I wasn't going to say this because it always gets guys' hopes up too much, but if you really do this well, okay, like start kicking ass, don't give a fuck, go on your own, don't get emotional, don't fall into her trap, there's a chance the relationship will go into she'll kick in the afterburner, right? And then you'll have more time with her, like another year or something. And then she will just be like, wow, this guy's pretty cool. Like he didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for my stuff. But at the same time, he didn't get angry. And he was like totally cool. And like, he's out doing his thing. And like, I want to be part of his party, right? Some of the PUAs say, be the party, right? If you got your party going on, and then she's going to be like, holy shit, like this guy's pretty cool. And then she might give you a little bit of rope that you can hang on with her a little bit longer. Now, of course, I always recommend having a few other girls, if not several. But even that the case, if the girl's like super hot, then it's kind of worth keeping her around. So There is a little bit of a gray area, but generally, right? Generally, it's not like that. The average girl is very fucking average. She's bad at sex. She never studies sex. She doesn't know shit about sex. She's not funny. She's not particularly pretty. She's not particularly good at makeup. She's not very good at doing her hair. You know, the average girl is very fucking average. That's why the word exists, right? So stop thinking every girl's a fucking princess, because they're not, right? Go through a lot of them. Go through a few hundred, and you'll realize the difference between an exceptional woman and an average woman, right? So the average girl is average. So just understand that, and then just realize what's it like to lose an average girl. Like, big fucking deal. You know, there's plenty of average fucking girls in the world, right? I can always get another average girl, right? So you just got that in your mind. Go out and find it. If you don't have one for a while, big fucking deal, right? Like, an average girl is losing an average girl. Is that going to be like, is that what you were born for? Is that all you can do is just fucking cry over a fucking average girl? Fuck that. No way, man. You're a cool guy. That's why you're listening to this shit. You're learning, right? You're 1 in a million, you know? Fuck that shit, man. You're a cool guy. Don't worry, man. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna fucking work out. And you're gonna feel good. And she'll always think about you. Trust me, because she'll be like, that one guy, we never had any big fights, you know? Like, there was never any bad feelings. When girls think about relationships, they look inside their stomach or their heart, and they feel, what did it feel like? That's how they judge things, relationships. And then when they think about you, it was just basically the good times and then a breakup that was kind of confusing to her. And then she's like, God, that wasn't that bad. You know, that was pretty cool. You know, and that's a good way to leave. That's a good way to leave, and that's a kind of a soft spot. And what I found with that one, what happens is they usually come back to you several years later. So maybe they're married with kids, they'll start texting you on Facebook or whatever, because you never had those bad feelings. So, you know, she might come by, give you a blowjob or fuck you or whatever, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's all right, you know. You got to give that a thumbs up and give yourself a pat on the back for handling the thing properly, right? So there's what I say is, don't even get to the point of having to deal. The guy's an idiot in Paul's video for getting to the point of violence, right? Be way before that shit, way before that. As soon as she starts to demand things that you don't like, that's when the penny drops for you. You don't wait until you're so angry you can't control yourself, right? And that's what they count on, is that you need the pussy so bad that you're not gonna fucking, you know what I mean? You're not gonna leave, right? You're just gonna hang around, right? But you're not like that. You're gonna be like, holy fuck, it's over. Maybe it's not over. It doesn't seem like it's over because it's still going on. But it's kind of like, if you look at a star, right? Look up in the sky. I don't know if we can see any stars today, but in the sky there's stars, right? And those stars are millions and millions of light years away. So some of those stars blew up and they don't even exist anymore, but they're so far away that they look like they're still there. Think of that with a relationship. As soon as she changes to demanding instead of giving, loving, basically demanding and changing and arguing instead of loving, you just realize she's like a star that it already blew up and it's already gone. You can enjoy it for a little bit longer. It's still there, kind of, but it's basically, it doesn't even exist, right? That's what I think. It's like a star. I'm looking at the light that's traveling millions of miles to my eyes. But the reality is the thing is fucking gone, okay? It's goddamn fucking gone. That's what you should know. And I'm not kidding about that. It's fucking over, right? You can hang on, you can get a few more, you know, bones. You can maybe get some more good things. Like I said, if you're super lucky, something else might happen, but basically it's gone, it's over, and don't ever let on that you know. Just be like totally normal. Just leave like a fucking normal guy. It's like, hey, good to see you there, Roxy, you know, good to see you. Later on, good to see you, like, bye. And then you leave, and then you just like, don't let any feelings out, don't let anything on your mind. That's what guys do, is the girls can read everything from their face, right? You're not like that. You're just like smart, and you're very alert, and you're listening, and you're realizing something very, very depressing and heavy. So maybe go to the bathroom so that you don't, you know, you can sit in there and think about it, and then just go, oh my God, it's over. Fuck, you know, fuck. Why so quickly? You know, why are girls like this? You know, why do they? It's the reason why they do this, because they're tricking you. They're tricking you.